episode number 71 at Barbershop Podcast. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing pretty good. My mic's a little hot. There we go. That's better.
Spicy hot Mike here.
Spicy hot Mike.
And the weather is starting to cooperate. People are smiling. There's a bounce in the step. Everyone is, everyone's smiling except for Nick, but it's more seasonal than that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, we've got a treat for me, a treat for you, a treat for everyone listening. Here at Barbershop Podcast, we bring in incredible singer-songwriters each and every week, some amazing musicianship right out of Hamilton, Ontario, and this week is no exception. Who we've got in the studio is none other than Rae Billing. Rae has been on the scene for quite a while and is constantly raising eyebrows and getting reviews, and I'm reading them over and over and saying, this is something, that you're going to have to hear, you're going to have to see. I mean, Richard Flohill, when she was playing in Toronto, said this is someone you absolutely have to see. I'm thrilled as anything to get her in the studio today, and she's brought with her, three amazing individuals. If you know Hamilton and you know singer-songwriters, when they pick people to play their music, it's quite often some of the best players, some of the most evocative players, and they're here and they're going to play for us today. Welcome to the studio, Rae. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. This is like a sweet little place to be playing.
Yes, it's like going home again.
It's like going home, baby. I like it. I like her.
Well, tell me about home. Tell me about the Rae Billing story. How did it start musically wise?
I started very late. I actually didn't really sing anything before I was in my 30s. Not at all. My voice was always kind of deep, so at parties when all the gals would get up and sing in those crystal clear gal notes, I could never do that, so I kind of hid out. So didn't sing for a long time, and then just started getting up at an open stage after kind of a tragedy in my life. So
were you artistic and a writer before you started singing?
I wasn't, but I will say that I've lived this kind of varied life. I've lived in nine cities, 22 homes, traveled all around and done a whole bunch of stuff, which is kind of a long story. But all kinds of different jobs and all kinds of different activities. I used to skydive and I used to tap dance and I guess I bowled in there somewhere too. But I guess it all just kind of added up to something and started spitting itself out when I was super duper lonely at one point.
It's a similar story to myself. It was after I went through lost my mother, and my wife left me, and I lost a really good paying job, and I was pretty down, and my friends came here and we made music.
Right.
And we were all pretty bad, so we made original music, and as time went on, this was, and I was in my 30s, and it wasn't until I was in my 30s that I started taking it seriously. So what was the process? You started going to some open stages with your first few songs?
Well, I used to work door at the Horseshoe, and I knew all these musicians and would watch people on stage, and I had no aspiration to it. And then a person died in my life, and then a friend of mine said, I'll get up with you and sing with you. And so at the beginning, I always sounded really good because I ended up playing with people who were really great, and they totally lifted it. It wasn't until afterwards that I realized that I had a long way to go. It's been a long journey since then.
Now, do you remember your first time you were on stage where you were singing your own music, not an open stage, but where you were putting on a showcase?
Oh yeah, I remember, and I had a number of friends come. I'd been impressed from the very beginning by Austin musicians, and so the friends that had kind of introduced me to that music all came out because they kind of heard a thread of that in what I was doing, So I had a lot of support early on, which was really great, plunking away. And it was at the Cameron House in Toronto.
Nice.
In the back room. And I remember some guy got up and volunteered to play harmonica with me. And I remember not having any idea how to deal with that. It was like, okay. And then I realized pretty quickly that he'd been drinking a wee tad.
But that doesn't mean that he's not telling the truth.
He was telling the truth for whatever the truth he lived. Whatever his truth was
at that particular time.
Yeah.
Now, as I mentioned, we've got three really great, session musicians and people who play and love to play great music and great original music. And I remember when
Can I tell you a bit about them?
Yes, yeah, and I was going to ask. I was going to ask them because I remember when Nick said to me, "Have you heard this Rae Billing? I'm playing with her, and it's just freaking great. She's like amazing." And I was curious as to what each of you three, when you heard Rae's music, what was it that grabbed you? What element of Rae's music attracted you? We'll start with Michael Birthelmer.
Mike Birthelmer also produced the album,
Yes.
so and played on it. So we hooked up a while ago.
Well, I heard that she's a real thing. She writes really good songs, and sings well, and that's who I like to work with. People who are, have it together and have written a lot of songs, and they know how to write good ones. That's somebody who I can work with and help and with their arrangements and stuff. And Rae's open enough to let me do my thing and help her out that way. So it turned out great. The album, there's some classics on there.
And it was when you heard it the first time, you heard the arrangement, you heard the magic in it.
Well, you kind of, sit and we play, and then I'll start to noodle and come up with things. And then, of course, we had great help, and Andrew Aldridge did the electric guitar, and he's fabulous.
Yes.
And Rae's a good acoustic guitar player, and I added my thing, and it turned out great.
It's great. And Michael?
Well, I first met Rae. Everything goes back to the West Town and the Songwriters Night, and this was done by J.P. Paul Remans, and he was hosting a Songwriters Night where when you got up, you played original music. And so I was sitting there, and I'd go and have a beer with Mike, and we'd sit in the back booth, and every once in a while, you heard something. And, it was one of those,
It got your
gee, I got to
attention.
get up. And you get up, and you wander up to the front of the thing, and you watch the person on the stage singing and playing the tune. You listen, gee, that's got something. Sometimes you didn't hear anything. Sometimes you did. Well, Miss Rae showed up one evening, and in those days I'd bring my bass and I'd sit in, with different ones and whatnot. And she was there, and so I picked up my bass and I started playing. And then next thing we know, here we are.
6
It
years
was
went
magic.
by.
6 years. That's 6 years ago.
We realized it's 6 years. Yeah.
So that's a while, and it's been a great journey. We've been putting out some good music, and it's culminated with the first
It's the
album
first album we've done
that we
together.
did together.
Yeah.
So and she named the band the Unpayables, which. I don't know if that's really true. We're kind of aspiring to be the Payables at some point, but I think
Only aspiring at this point.
It's the only
Just
scale
fine.
you want to go around.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Yeah, you got it. So, I mean, that's really how I got started with Rae, and we started as a duo, Rae and I.
We played a lot of shows as a duo.
And then we found Matt Coleman, who was a session guy, a side guy, at the same gig at the West Town. And so Matt started playing with Rae, and we went out as a trio. And then we found Nick. We're finding all these people. The place is littered with people, So
No, but it's been a long, slow process of kind of drawing in people that were that were just the totally right people for this. And I'm slow to warm to stuff. Although I will say that certain things I heard, and when I heard Nick, I went, that's it, baby.
Well, he's the real deal. He's
That's
a
it.
dear friend of mine, and I know he was very excited about playing with Rae. What was it that made it so wonderful for you to play with her?
I met Rae just after the Steelworkers Waltz. I was playing with most of the people that played a live show. I was playing with. They made a record for Kevin, and I played with Tim Gibbons. And I remember Rae came up to me after the show and said, "I liked your drumming. Can we have a chat sometime over coffee?" So I went and met Rae, and we had a nice cup of coffee and a good old chat, and found out that we had a lot of friends in common. When I used to live in Toronto, Rae had played with some of the people that I used to play with in Toronto. I played with Rae's cousin in England 25
This is the
years ago.
craziest
Played
story.
in a band in Bournemouth 25 years ago.
25
with,
years ago.
a Mr. Noel Pemberton Billing, and I thought that's a
What are the
strange
chances?
name. What are the chances? Yeah, Rae's cousin. And then she brought me along to the rehearsal, and I met Mike, And I thought the songs were really, really well crafted, really, really well crafted songs. Great words, great voice. That was pretty much it. And I like Rae a lot.
Yeah. A lot of people
easy
like
to get
Rae.
on with.
Well, you're
Not so many these days, but
Which is
hey.
important to me.
It is.
People
It's
all over the
important.
place, but hey,
you got
whatever,
to,
right?
the longer you spend in the business, the more important it is the people that you spend your time with. It's just not worth it to do the thing you love with the wrong kind of people. And the proof is in the pudding. We're going to give you a little bit of pudding right now here at Barbershop Podcast. We're gonna lead off with a live tune. Anything you want to tell us about it to preface
Yeah, it's
it?
the lead song off the album. It's kind of I write a lot of ballads, known for that. But this is kind of an up-tempo song, and yet it's still depressing at the same time. So
Lovely.
It's really what I love.
Well, this is what we do right here at barbershoppodcast.com.
1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, but she'll be walking on by, walking on by, baby, walking on by. Don't take her fingers into yours, don't hold them tight. Walking on by, baby, walking on by.
Yeah, Rae Billing and the Unpayables. I almost fell off my stool. Me too. Right here at Barbershop Podcast, bringing you the very best in Hamilton music and musicians each and every week. You can catch us on our YouTube channel. You can get a hold of us through Google+, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, or our Facebook page, or our webpage at barbershoppodcast.com. Share it. If you like the show, please recommend it to a few friends. That's how we grow something from the ground up. I want to talk about the record that you went in and recorded at Michael's studio. Tell me about what you brought in there, what you wanted to do, and how you felt about the process. And again, we often liken it to a birthing process. Some are pleasurable and some are painful, but they're all life experiences.
And
sure.
I love being in the studio. I had worked, the last 3 albums were with Peter Moore in Toronto, and I worked really exclusively with him. We used to date. It was very complicated. But, I'm in Hamilton now, and I had, everybody I work with is in Hamilton. And I had heard, Mike had played for me Patches of Blue, Edgar Bro's album that Mike had produced. And I just was so blown away because, you get ideas about how things should sound, and it sounded really unique to me. It was like a combination of some old sounds and then this new music and writing, and so I kind of mulled it over for a long time because I thought I would always record with Peter. It was kind of a pact between us, and but this was something really different. And when we went in, and Mike just brings a lot of different ideas, and really alt country is about a marriage of styles, and which is what I always liked about it. It wasn't just unidirectional, it kind of fanned out and could be whatever you wanted it to be in a lot of ways. So it evolved just like that. And we kind of, there was really only 1 or 2 songs that we disagreed on. Everything else, it was like everything else that came out was just golden.
Was anything born in the studio? Or was it...
Only sound-wise.
Yeah.
And in fact, the song, one of the songs you have on there from the album to play is called Grace. That one really, really shifted. Because I tend, I learned to play guitar in a boom-chukka way, like Ma Carter, pick a bass string, strum, boom-chukka, boom-chukka. And so sometimes stuff can have a similar sound to it. And Mike just really took this a total right turn. And I didn't play on it. And we just sort of did it live. And in fact, through the whole process, Mike was like, well, we could redo this. There was the sound of the fridge in the background. And I was kind of adamant that we had kind of hit a moment that was sweet and that I didn't want to redo it. And so, there's things that you could change about it. But to me, it's that perfect imperfection,
Wonderful. And for you as a producer, the process, I guess everyone's a little bit different. You get used to doing it in your particular way, but you have to do a dance with the artists as they come in.
Yeah, I mean, you hear their songs and you talk to them and see what they like themselves. I always like to listen to some of the music that inspires them and that they might want to sound a little bit like or go in a direction of. For some of the songs, though, I could always hear that the song had great potential. Maybe it was just not the ultimate way to play it. And so we would rearrange the odd tune. That's something I do with everybody anyway, though. Whether, they're a virtuoso player or not, it's always, you have to scrutinize it once it's going to be recorded and something that's permanent. So Rae was very open to at least letting me try and find a few different chords for her. It did not change her melody or anything of that.
You did on Grace.
No, I don't think it did.
You
Really.
contributed the chorus, which you refused to acknowledge. You refused to take credit for it, but he did.
What? It was such a lovely song anyway. I mean, anything that I put in there was already suggested.
Yeah.
And that's great. When somebody comes to me with that much of a song, it's pretty easy for me to put stuff in for.
Yeah, it's the magic sprinkles, and this is the thing. And when you have to let go of your baby and trust it to a wider community in that time right before with people who are playing with you on it? Do they understand it? Do they get who I am? This is my diary. This is a big chunk of me, and it really has to come out, and they need to honor that. But at the same token, they're going to see it differently than I see it to my own eyes. Right. And it sounds like you've got a winner. The CD is called Walls and Fences. It's available on iTunes.
It's available on iTunes and on our website, raebilling.com.
And I imagine at Cheapies and Dr. Disc here in Hamilton.
Oh, I don't think I've done that.
No, you got to get down. Yeah, you'll sell a dozen a year or so that way.
So that
That's okay. It's damn right. Damn's not even a swear, is it, Ryan? I'm falling off the wagon over here.
Count.
Damn. Shoot. Darn.
Egad.
Egad. All right. The first one we're going to play off the CD or the album, we'll call it, is Someone.
You know what? You should play Grace. Do you mind? Are you already set up?
No,
Just
we can play.
Because we were talking about Grace,
That's,
and so we might as well
that's
flip
number
it around.
10, right?
Keep it loosey-goosey.
Let's keep it loosey-goosey. All right. So this is off of Rae Billing and the Unpayables, off of Walls and Fences. This is Grace at barbershoppodcast.com.
I don't know why I asked this question, and I know the answer before I begin. Your eyes are dancing a number, and your words don't get past your chin. I've been living so quiet, while these days they rise and they fall. We've been forgetting what love is. Sometimes beauty is hard to recall. And there's so many ways for a heart to break, a heart to lose its shape. There's so many ways for a heart to break, a heart to lose its grace. You never meant to go looking, but one day a body appeared. And the years that I've given are carved on your soul, but baby, that's not what I need to hear. I guess we'll hold on through this trial. I can see that we'll clear this one too. But baby, I need the warmth in your eyes, and not just to drag ourselves through. 'Cause there's so many ways for a heart to break, a heart to lose its shape. Yeah, there's so many ways for a heart to break. that stirs you more, that stirs you more, 'cause there's so many ways for a heart to break, a heart to lose its shape. Yeah, there's so many ways for a heart to break, a heart to lose its grace, for a heart to lose its grace.
Absolutely show it. A beautiful ballad from Rae Billing off of Walls and Fences here at Barbershop Podcast. Rae Billing and the Unpayables in the studio tonight. Songwriting. Who are the songwriters that just tickle your fancy? Like when you see that they're going to write some new stuff or something that doesn't matter if you've seen or heard before,
really
you pick it up.
myself because I have a hard time listening to stuff. I really have to apologize for
You like
this.
the
No, don't. If you don't tend to listen to a lot of other people's
The
music.
thing is, my friend said to me at one point, "What do you listen to?" And I said, I listen to the songs in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I should listen to more stuff. I've always loved Lucinda Williams and always loved the Austin musicians, whether it's Jim Dale Gilmore or Butch Hancock or. And those folk, as I get further along, lyrics are just so important to me. And a lot of times, honestly, I feel like people are not giving me the shit. And it pisses me off because I'll know somebody and I'll know their life is complex. And then I hear what they're writing and it's not the shit. And I think, you know what? I need more from you.
Yeah.
You know, and so so that's where I am kind of about it.
Do you write
What
the
can I say?
same way? Like, do you write the words and you hear the?
It mostly comes from words.
And, is the cadence already in your head where you already know what the?
So much.
Yeah.
So, and most
write
of
very
it comes in
similar.
that dream place. I remember reading this thing about Salvador Dali that he would I think he would fall asleep in a chair and hold something in his hand like a key, so that as he was just in that dream space, that he would drop the key and it would wake him up. Because in that place between waking and sleeping are so much of your creativity. And for me, it's always there. If I write when I'm wide awake, it's kind of shite. I'm using that word a lot, eh?
Yeah.
But if I'm in that place, it all just comes forth on its own, and it has a mind of its own. And most of the time I'm pissed off because I have to wake up to write it down, and I really want to go to sleep.
Many scraps of paper all over your house.
Just like cat torn shreds in every corner of my house. I'm ashamed to say.
Oh, it would make a wonderful decoupage one day. I would put that up.
Yeah,
That'd be your
right.
songwriting inspirational
There'd be
wall.
blood on it too, I'm sure.
Well, why don't you put another example of that songwriting together for us and let the fans of Barbershop Podcast hear a little bit more of what Rae Billing and the Unpayables have to offer.
My dream is to write more political songs, but for the time being, this another relationship song. It's called To Keep. You tell me if I was in.
I think we're okay.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could walk into the wilderness, but I think I'll stay. Roots they slowly grow beneath. I don't wanna fade away. The colors keep on changing. Once I wanna watch them keep myself from moving on again. Like a time to warm up to, baby. Now hold on as long as my fingers will. Was itchy feet that have always been. Maybe I can keep them still. And all trials that we have known, some still hurt, I'll not deny. But I'm sitting here upon this step, and I promise, baby, that I will try. Keep my feet from walking, keep the door from slamming, keep my heart from breaking, keep the anger waiting, keep the tears from flowing, keep old wounds from growing, keep from knowing too much, keep myself from moving on again, keep myself from moving on again. Sometimes things just shake so bad, and I have to burn them all. Spill into another place and time, and start a new life off. But I'm breathing through the roughest moments, and I'm holding hard to this new skin. And I'll do my best, baby, I will do my best not to give in. Keep my feet from walking, keep the door from slamming, keep my heart from breaking, keep the anger waiting, keep the tears from flowing, keep old wounds from growing, keep from knowing too much, keep myself from, keep my feet from walking, keep the door from slamming, keep my heart from breaking, keep the anger waiting, keep the tears from flowing, keep old wounds from growing, keep from knowing too much, keep myself from moving on again, keep myself from moving on again, keep myself from moving on again. Yeah.
Rae Billing and the Unpayables on barbershoppodcast.com. Well, you know, music is something that can be reduced to math and science, sound waves, and fitting numbers into patterns. And it can also be transcendental, something so emotional that kind of walks between people. What is the draw and the lure? You know, the fact that you started and chose, you know, at an age when most people are not getting into the music business, to get into the music business. What keeps you in the music business?
Hey, the music business I did not fucking choose. And I just said fuck because I intended to say it. I'm really bad
My
at
poor
it.
ears.
Kevin, I'm so bad at this. I do an album every 4 or 5 years. I play gigs to small handfuls of people. I have no ability in the music business. And I was in Toronto where it's very much about the business. And the thing that's really nice about Hamilton is that it feels to me like it's a bit more about the music. And, you know, so the business, you know, like, cannot. The music, still I struggle with it. I really struggle with doing this, and whether, whether I have any right, whether whether you have anything to say, whether it hasn't all been said. You know, there's a lot of people doing music these days, and they treat it in a way that it doesn't warm my heart, and so I keep thinking, is there a place for what I do? All that stuff, it rattles around inside your brain all the time. And that's why we have beer.
That's why we have beer. And Michael, what is it? What does it for you in a song? Like, what are the elements of the song that it's got to have?
It's got to have. It's got to say something first of all to me. So lyric content is really important. I'm struggling with that right now, folks.
Yeah.
I write tunes too.
Yeah.
And last night I come up with a great melody, but the words were terrible. And so. So I threw my computer down the stairs, and but it's got to have good lyric, It's got to tell a story for me.
You have to be willing to be patient a little bit. I know there's interesting. Paul McCartney had one. I don't know if it was Michelle or one of the great songs, but the original lyrics were mustard and hot dog or something.
Yeah.
It was anything to fill out, so we could get to that first stage done.
You're going to the rhyming dictionary. What rhymes with orange? And you're running to that. But no, first of all, lyrical content. Melody then is would be, I would say, real close second for me, and once I've got that, then making a groove, and with my bandmate Nick, of course, working on something that allows you to either tap your feet or has some kind of an element of groove to it, so that people can. Let that melody and those lyrics take them to another place.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, that's wonderfully put. I was struggling with how to phrase that myself, because I was going to ask Nick basically the same question. As someone who's in your seat, you have to feel, you have to be able to empathize with that song pretty quickly, right? And if someone's playing an acoustic guitar, it's basically a percussive instrument when it's played, but there has to be, I guess, a lot of space at the same time, right? What are the elements when you listen to a song that grab you?
I don't like to get too cerebral about it. I don't really analyse.
Yeah.
For me, it's just emotion. I putting it into words, I don't know. It's a bit. I don't know if it's a waste of time for me or not. Really, putting it into words. For me, it's not about that. It's
a little
about feeling. It's about
groin
emotion.
combination thing.
Yeah. Chord change. Sometimes a chord change can do it for me.
Yeah.
Just a choice of chords. Sometimes the melody. The words come later. I normally hear the music first. Yeah. To be honest.
And I've often said that the words. A lot of songwriters get hung up on the words. It's like people have to dance. Have to move their butt. And they have to listen to it 2 or 3 times. They have to like it enough to listen to it to start listening to your words. So be okay with that.
And how many songs do you get the lyrics wrong to?
Yeah.
Like you kind of for years you've sung them wrong and they meant something to you wrong. And but yeah, I know.
It's not very often the lyric will put me off straight away unless it's talking about killing animals or something.
Yeah.
Then it's a definite.
Not many of those make the hit parade.
Not anymore. Anyway. Okay, we're gonna go back to the CD, a wonderful CD, Walls and Fences, Rae Billing and the Unpayables. The one we were originally going to play first, track 8, which is Someone.
Someone. Yeah.
Tell us about Someone. It's another political song, no doubt.
It's not political. There's political songs. There's political songs in the future. Hold on. There's a raft of them.
It's a coming.
It's when you move cities, life can be tricky, and it's kind of it's that sort of situation of having been in a relationship and that relationship is over, and so there's an idea that you sort of the line is someone I've almost seen. That's what it's about. Someone I've almost seen. The rest of it is in the song, I think. Maybe I'm taking a cue from Nicholas over there.
Yes, which is good.
It's a good cue to take.
It's a good cue to take.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to spin it right here. This is Someone, barbershoppodcast.com.
tide. We still talk on the telephone. It's been 3 years and counting now. We still talk on the telephone. You tell me all your stories. Tell me all the wars you've fought. You just keep on running, babe, before at any cost. I've emptied all the old rooms, only have to sweep them clean. Still I hold on to a shadow, someone I've almost seen, someone I've almost seen. The girls that dance around you, and you fall into step. Your eyes are wide and somewhere else, and I wonder what you got left. 'Cause the candles burning both ends down, the pale light just glows a little and barely flickers in your eyes. Two flames die out in the middle. And I've emptied all the old rooms, only have to sweep them clean. Still I hold on to a shadow, someone I've almost seen, someone I've almost seen. Yeah, I let you slip away and watch the traffic in between. One time I'd know that you were calling to me. Now I only know where we've been. So I emptied all the old rooms, only have to sweep them clean. Still I hold on to a shadow, someone I've almost seen, someone I've almost seen, someone I've almost seen.
A beautiful song.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Who was that wonderful deep male voice in that?
That was Mr. Wayne Krawchuk. And Wayne is a sensational songwriter, like way off scale songwriter, and a way off scale singer. And when he first started, you know, he sang with his normal voice. I said, okay, you got to think backup singer, man, because your voice is just way too good to be in the background. So he kind of just pulled it back into the perfect place. I love singing with him. I would do it my whole life.
He's great.
Yeah,
Just need to go on tour, get the big bus, and get out there.
we've got the Wayne Krawchuk T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're all fan
So,
club
yeah,
members.
yeah,
We are
you
big
know,
fans of his.
He's a
Yeah.
great guy.
Well, you know, maybe not a tour bus next week, but what do you got? What are the plans? The summer is on its way, right?
Summer's on its way, and you know we've done a few sort of downtown shows, and we were playing in the Camera. We were playing a regular slot, and so I don't know. It's a little bit wide open right now.
Yeah. And,
Talking about going to the States, I don't know, the border thing is too big for me to deal with. I just kind of cringe.
Border guards are too big.
I've
for
been
me.
kind
I
of
don't
told
know.
from the very first that I had to go to the States to do my music, and I have to say I feel it a bit to this very day, but maybe it's just a fantasy.
I think you'll make it down to Nashville. I think everyone.
I have
there.
played in Nashville.
Yeah.
I remember we went into the clothing store, and the shop gal, who was like this middle-aged gal, said, "Oh, well, honey, what you doing here?" "Well, we're going to play a gig." She goes, "Well, you better be good, because they're lined up to take your place." And I was like, "Holy McGillicuddy."
Ain't it the truth?
Yeah, exactly. And even more so now. That was a few years ago now.
Well, I'm sure you knocked them dead, and if you do us a favor, I'd love you to knock us dead again. I know you've got a basket full of songs.
We got a basket full
of songs. You're gonna
So
bring
this
it
is a song actually about living in the North End. It's
And pretend.
in the North End of Hamilton, next to the 5 sets of railroad tracks.
all on the wrong side. And this is a great thing about Hamilton. I often said that. It's a legitimate city. It's not just an
Exactly.
explosion where you get to a raw number and now you're a city. It has a downtown. It has pigeons. It has a bus, and it has
And a history
right
of
side
smuggling.
Yes, on the right side of the tracks and the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
Pigeons that have been here for multi-generations.
Yes, and they have a pecking order.
I think some of my my cousins ate some of those in the early days, but I'm not sure.
Well, you know where I live now, which is in the North End. My ex, who is from Hamilton, so that he used to come to my area to buy drugs when he was a teenager. So there you go.
Smuggling? Did you say history of?
Oh,
There's
yes.
a history of
yes.
smuggling big time in
Yeah.
Hamilton. There's a lot of groovy history here.
We could do a whole
actually.
show on that.
We could.
Yeah.
Paul, where I was born, that's known for smuggling. Big smugglers town.
So there you go.
Fit right in.
Well,
All right.
It's a song about a little bit of
It's not about smuggling,
Well,
actually.
it's about the grit. It's about the grit.
Yeah. That's it.
The grit will be in the next song. Wait for it. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Walking along the trail with the 5 sets of railroad tracks. On the other side of the chain link fence, and I hold your hand to keep you from climbing. You hold my hand to do the same, 'cause there's only one way out, and it's through the walls and the fences. Both know the truth, don't we, love? Yeah, there's only one way out, and it's through the walls and the fences. So we'll hold on to each other just for now and pretend. And pretend. It's just a short stroll down by the railroad track, just a walk by the water to the bridge. And there's nothing to question, well, there's not much to say. Ever there was has already been said. Now there's only one way out, and it's that is just a waste in time. So I will curl my fingers to the palm of your hand. Wait for that time to crash on by. 'Cause there's only one way out, and it's through the walls and the fences. We both know the truth, don't we, love? Yeah, there's only one way out, and it's through the walls and the fences. So we'll hold on to each other just for now and pretend. And
Rae Billing and the Unpayables here at barbershoppodcast.com. Beautiful music.
squeaky chair.
Bring it, yes.
Sits right in there.
Yeah.
It's got the perfect squeaky chair pocket.
It's got a bit of cushion on it, though, and we like that. Well, you've managed to put together a beautiful testament about your life and about your feelings. When you look at what the body of songs represent on this CD, it must be something you're very proud of, to have put together a full-length effort like this.
It's my fourth album.
Yeah.
You know, that said, you know, I feel very proud of the work that I've done, but yeah. It's hard for me to say,
yeah,
you know,
but
that I
you
really
can-
do feel really strongly about the album. I feel that it's, you know, it's close to my heart. I think it's a really good one.
Yeah. It was got some wonderful reviews, and when you look at the opportunities that present itself, because we talk about this quite a bit, that the music scene it's very much a do-it-yourself business now.
Yeah,
Getting
it
your
is,
music
yeah.
out to people, I equate it to food. People derive enjoyment from food. It's a necessity, but it's also a luxury, depending on how you look at it. But if you ask people what their favorite restaurants are, a lot of people will say, you know, McDonald's or
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, because that's what they're exposed to. And music, it's difficult to expose original music, even to the people who are interested in that. It's such a crowded world out there. And as
Yeah.
you said, if you're not prepared to be, you know, fierce, kicking the doors down, and I see that people do that and still get so exhausted and tired having to do that.
You know, they do,
constantly.
but, you know, it used to be that musicians had a certain kind of sensibility, and they weren't the ones that were doing the kicking the door down. But now it doesn't seem like there's an awful lot of opportunity unless you are that bold. And sometimes the people that are super bold maybe don't have the sensibility for the other side of it. And so they're, you know, what they're producing, you know, is a little less soulful. There, you know, there's a lot of music out there, but whether there's a lot of soul, I ain't sure. You know, like well, it is. It's always been a business, but but the numbers are just like bizarre. You know, and you know, I said it when I first saw the Idol shows. I said, well, there goes music for you.
Yeah.
Like. Gone, baby, gone.
Yeah. And I remembered when Microsoft bought that Start Me Up from the Rolling Stones, and that was a big deal, where this is a song being used exclusively for marketing. And it didn't seem like that long ago, but now songs are clearly written with commercials in mind. You've got...
Well, it used to be completely uncool
Yeah.
to have your stuff, to sell your stuff. It's the reverse now. It's actually, you know, like... You know, whether Aerosmith, Steve Tyler is on, is that his name? Sorry. Is
Steven
doing
Tedesco.
Yeah, give him the real name.
whoever, whether he's commenting on how you should be a musician or it's not just that, you know, it's just corporate now. It's corporate on every level. except here, like in this
It
lovely little
really
room.
is.
You know,
This room, this city, and I
Yeah.
feel blessed. I feel blessed at what we're able to do here, and I say it each and every week. I get a little rundown by Tuesday, and then Wednesday my spirits get picked up because not only am I entertained and infused with this positive music, but with people who believe in something, and and it just happens to be the same thing I believe in, which is great. But
Well, you know what, though? I mean, we take a minute because I don't think enough is said. But this podcast, the Barbershop podcast, has really done a lot for Hamilton music. Kevin, you've done first of all, we get a chance to play, which is a good thing. But more to the point. I mean,
To be seen.
To have the music played out there, and it'll be out there for some time, because it's out there now. It's out in the cloud, and
Don't screw it up, God damn it.
Yeah, but no. So thanks. Thanks.
It's our pleasure. And I said it when I originally started. I thought that it would
You
be
too, Ryan, wherever you are back there, buddy.
It would be music centric, but there would be a lot more poets and artists of other stripes. But the musical well is so deep, and we have so much fun doing a live show and saying, if we have the facilities where we can. It's great if someone can come in, but if you try to bam, you got 5 minutes on the radio to kind of say your spiel, and maybe you can play in the studio, but they're not really set up to reproduce the sound. And for the people who don't get an opportunity to go out or haven't made a point of going out and seeing live music and checking out a band that they've never seen before, take a flyer on it. Here's an opportunity where they can, in the comfort of their own home, see what they're missing.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
and that's
great.
That's it gives me great.
And maybe come out and support some live music.
Support some live music. I said this time and time again with the price.
There is nothing like a live show for a good time.
Oh, really?
I think the problem is that a lot of people have been kind of sort of bamboozled, and they get to a live show. It's not the album, or it's not what they expected, or people aren't the same people.
It's only been in 100 years that people have had records and things to refer to. Before 100 years ago, if you wanted to hear music, you had to go somewhere and see musicians play live.
Yeah.
There was none of this, it doesn't sound like the record.
Yeah.
There weren't any records.
By the way,
Yeah.
the podcast really looks nice on my 60-inch new television.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's fabulous.
It's a flippin' plasma.
I just
Oh
think
my
it's fantastic.
God.
I've got them. I'm playing them all. I put them all. I've lined them all up, and my whole day is the music's playing in the background.
Wonderful.
And I love it.
That thrills me.
Yeah,
I just went a couple days ago from a cathode ray to a flat screen.
Flat
It's a 42 inches, but I'm there. I'm going.
Well, I held out for the 60-inch, and man, it looks great.
Yeah.
I'm bigger than life, folks. I'm trying to reduce, but I'm bigger than life. I love it.
We're going to play one more off the CD.
Mike is really
before we.
Mike's already there.
He's there in spades.
totally there.
Both the Michaels are 2-time members now. They're working towards their smoking jacket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Want to play a pop and rockin' song called 7 Nights.
Actually, no. Can we do Sacramento
You want to do a
River?
Sacramento River?
Yeah, that was on the
This
list.
is a gem of a song.
Okay.
It really is. It's a true song about the tent city that grew up around Sacramento River, and after the 2008 recession that happened, and kind of how shocking that is, I'll get there. Don't worry about me, boys. Took early retirement from a job on the line, 'cause it sounded so sweet to have money and time. But the money was just a number on a banker's white page. When the number was erased, well, he remembered his age. So 80 years later, there's a tent city again, by the waters of the Sacramento River, and the towers that hover on the skyline of coal, to the blood and the flesh that curl up in the fall of the waters, the Sacramento River. so cold through the night. We're gonna be moved on again by the ones who feel right to give fines to the people who have lost all the fight and who'll pull up the stakes and be gone from the side of the waters, the Sacramento River. So 80 years later, there's a tent city again by the waters of the Sacramento River, and the towers that hover on the skyline are cold to the blood and the flesh that curl up in the fall of the waters, the Sacramento River. And the government money went to the ones who had betrayed him, and the government money went to the corporate jet men, and the government money went to people who'll never know, not to him, not to his wife, not to the son that lies beside him on the soil next to the Sacramento River. So 80 years later, there's a tent city again by the waters of the Sacramento River, and the towers that hover on the skyline are cold to the blood and the flesh that curl up in the cold of the waters, the Sacramento River. 80 years later, there's a tent city again by the waters of the Sacramento River, and the towers that hover on the skyline are cold to the blood and the flesh that curl up in the cold of the waters, the Sacramento River. Yeah, the waters of the Sacramento River. Oh, the waters of the Sacramento River.
Lovely job. Lovely job. The wonderful Rae Billing and the great band, the Unpayables, here at Barbershop Podcast. Each and every Wednesday, barbershoppodcast.com brings you the very best in Hamilton music and musicians. You do not want to miss it. And if you do, you can check it out at barbershoppodcast.com, where we've got all of our episodes archived on the big screen. So there's your political song. Wonderful.
I told you I'm going there.
Yeah, sentiment.
Yeah.
So now you're taking your writing in that direction. It's
I hope it goes there. Most of the time I have to wait and see how she shows up, but it seems to be going that way.
yeah. You want to make a difference, and I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
Music, it doesn't matter. It gets through your defenses, no matter how angry, sad, depressed you are. If a song hits you, it hits you. It's not up to you. And if you've got a message to make, and if you've got the ability to do it, and you can wrap it in a song, God damn it.
God damn it.
That's something that
You know,
should do.
you were saying about the Pete Seeger do. Tori Lukasik Foss, who is also Tiny Bill Cody, organized a Pete Seeger tribute at the Workers' Arts and Heritage Museum, which is just the most appropriate place for it. And, you know, you think of people who affect other people like Pete Seeger did with that real workers' statement.
And wonderful stories that got shared there about, you know, he was such a threat that he was blackballed and he could not get a gig. Now, here's a folk singer who was scaring the hell out of the CIA and the FBI and everyone else, and that they're like, screw this guy. He isn't going to fucking work. And what did he do? he went to summer camps and he taught children.
Wow, I didn't know
Smart
that
guy.
story,
Yeah,
actually.
and he taught children, and he taught songs, and he wrote songs, and they're simple little songs, but you know what?
They pack a wallop.
They pack a wallop.
You know, I was
in them.
thinking about that, Where Have All the Flowers Gone, which became an anthem for the anti-war movement. And think of that song. It's like, you think of it as so kind of sweet and melodic,
Yeah.
and yet it packs a wallop, just like you said.
It's true. Well, something that packs a wallop is the rock and roll ditty that you have that I've been dying to play. Tell me a little about Seven Nights. It
You know,
sounded like it was fun.
It's a rewrite. I have a song called 7 Days, and which we still play, and it's kind of a rockin' song, and we like to play it. But I was headed one night to the West Town, and honestly, it just spit out this whole other version of it. And so for a while, we called it the 7 Days Rewrite, and then it became, for the album, it was like, well, we couldn't figure out which song we were playing when we were doing it live. Which 7 days is it, you know? So we decided to call it 7 Nights, and I love it because Andrew kind of completely has his way on this song. In fact, all the boys do. And I get to kind of just sit back and listen. When it was in the studio, my feet just could not keep still. I love this groove.
Well,
you know?
I'm sure you're going to love it too. And here it is at barbershoppodcast.com.
Kept her life so busy all the time, spinning fast and dizzy, but falling off the line. New city kept her moving on. Pack up the car, the credit card, and she was gone. 7 days and 7 nights, and it's the same old story. 7 days and 7 nights go by. She wished she'd been some smarter on the downside of time. Walked clumsy, talked real hard, and left so many things behind. Never knew just how to fill the quiet. New job, new home, new man, she never had to try. 7 days and 7 nights, and it's the same old story. 7 days and 7 nights go by.
right, that's 7 Nights by Rae Billing and the Unpayables off of Walls and Fences. Be sure to get it.
Great job by Andrew Aldridge on guitar.
Oh, boy, is he smoking good.
Yeah.
Each and every Tuesday, you can see him at This Ain't Hollywood. Puts out a great open stage. I recommend you go out there. The talent level is off the chart
May.
there. Not until May now? Well, we're almost May. That's only 4 weeks away.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to bless us with one more tune
We're
before
going to
we
play
have to
another
head out
tune. We're going
tonight?
to play our little Tex-Mexy number that
Thank
kind of
God.
we just like to play because, you know, it's not a ballad, basically.
Yeah.
All right, give
Are
it to
we
me.
good? Rockin'. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. My senses are off color. All my instincts are shaking. My eyes see brightly now. Things appear overclear. Scared that maybe I've awakened. I could live for your lazy kisses. I could live for your quiet eyes. I could bring my soulless heart through the years of being buried. Then where would I go when I wanted to cry? I know, I know, I know. I know, I wish I didn't know. Then I heard a story. It was from your past, and I know that I should go. Wish I didn't though. I have never been religious. Pretty sure I can never be. But I hold on to sweet thoughts for too long, or maybe forever. I live quite well in fantasy.
Lovely, lovely, lovely Rae Billing gracing us here at Barbershop Podcast, bringing in her smoking band, the Unpayables. If you get a chance, make the chance. Look them up, grab their tunes off the internet, look at the newspaper. She's going to be touring. She's going to be playing around Hamilton, Ontario, maybe Toronto. Rae Billing. You saw her tonight. You saw the band tonight. Get out and see some live music. Do yourself a favor. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming in the studio tonight.
Much.
You sounded good.
Thank you for
looked
the
good.
space.
Yeah, I'm a happy man when we cover those bases. Well, each and every week we got good stuff going on. Next week we have Chelsea Kreitz in the studio. She is one beautiful girl. She's going to come in here and sing some country music for us. So we're looking forward to that. Join us each and every week here at Barbershop Podcast. Thanks for coming out.
See ya.